what's up, Vengeance? Hello, Buddha. Welcome. I got just a few announcements, but I want to wait till a few more people get here. Hope. How's your days, guys? How's your days, guys, going? Or how is your day going, guys? Hey, what's up, Boom? I'm all right. How are you doing? Hello, Zach. My day's all right. That's good to hear, Vamp. Went to the doctor again today. I don't know, just got some blood work and just some update. They also talked me into getting a flu shot, so I am vaccinated. I don't know. They were puzzled as for why my muscles were a little bit bigger, but I told them I'd been going to the gym for the past 2 months, and I'm on a protein diet now. I'm trying to ingest a minimum of 150 grams of protein every day, and just under 2,000 calories. That's proven to be a little bit of a challenge, but that's kind of what's going on right now. I do want to, however, thank all of you guys for voting on whether or not you want to see a collector's edition video. I filmed 2 top list videos today. I filmed PSP games and PlayStation 1 games. I'm going to edit those after the stream. So that's pretty much what's going on. So next week, I'm going to work on the collector's edition video because I have a lot of collector's editions, so I have to bring them all out of this room in here because that's where most of them are, and I think a few of them are in the bed, and there's a few of them scattered around the room. So that's kind of what's been going on. So if you guys, you can start throwing out your questions. It's great to see all you guys here. We have about 9 people. Let's see if we can get it even higher. Okay, so first question, how's my health? I'm doing all right. Doctor just says kind of reduce sugar level, blood sugar. Blood pressure's been doing all right, but I have been taking my medication. I'm checking my blood pressure every 6 to 8 hours. That's pretty much how my health is going. Yes, I know, Vengeance. I'm happy about that. It hit 1,000 views. That's rare. Which I don't understand because I have almost 84,000 subscribers. So, I think the algorithm was working against me. But somehow that video got through. But I'm happy about that. So, I don't know. You think Wesker would be dangerous in Mass Effect? Probably not. I mean, Wesker operates on a very small level. So, once you throw him out into the galaxy, sure, he might be manipulative, but, there's the elusive man, someone who's a little bit more capable and has a lot more resources. I don't think Wesker would be very successful. I think they'd shut him down pretty quickly. I think I just think, given what his abilities are, he's not particularly impressive. I think a high quality biotic would be able to take care of Wesker pretty easily. What were my expectations for Gladiator 2? I'll be honest, I don't even know why we're doing a Gladiator 2 to begin with. Maximus is dead. We're supposed to be following Drusilla's, I believe that's her name, I think her son. I'm just not sure where that story can go. Is Russell Crowe going to be in there? I saw in an interview where apparently they were discussing maybe he might be talking to Lucius. I think that's what is the kid's name. He's going to be talking to him from Elysium, so the other side in the afterlife. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I don't know. I'm optimistic, but it's one of those films where it's one of the greatest films of all time. Easily my favorite Ridley Scott film. I just never see the need for a Gladiator 2. You're planning on getting God of War 4? That is awesome news, Vamp. And then hopefully you'll move into Ragnarok and you'll have an even more fun time. Have I ever turned off a light run where the light is? You mean unplugging a light bulb? Have I ever tried that? Yeah, it's not the smartest idea. How would I rate this year for myself? I think I'd rate an 8 simply because I did a lot more things this year than last year. I think next year might be a down year simply because I'm not going to be doing as much. But in terms of vacations, I went on 5 vacations. I did a lot today. I had some life-changing events happen this year. So I would say it was definitely enough. I would say that 2023 was probably one of the... Well, I say this. This is probably the best year I've had since my dad passed, which would make it 7 years. Because he passed in 2016. So I would say this is probably the best year I've had since before that. So yeah, I would say it was actually a pretty good year personally. Channel-wise, not so much. It was actually my worst year since, I believe, my first or second year on YouTube. So we got to work on that next year. Like, we got to figure out something. Maybe I need to find a good coach or reorganize for certain things or add certain content or change a few things. But yeah, I'm definitely looking to improve. I definitely want to get to 90,000 subscribers next year. We should have hit that this year, but it's not going to happen. What are my thoughts on Insomniac's game situation? I think that's wrong. I'm not looking into it too much because I don't want to spoil it, but I think whoever did this to try to spoil a game that we know very little about, I think was wrong. It isn't. It's unfortunate. I think something like this happened a long time ago with Half-Life 2, where like something about it that got leaked. But that was what was in development, which I do think Wolverine is in development now. But like, I'm just trying to avoid that right now. So yeah. It is unfortunate, but that just shows that these developers really need to enhance their security big time, because this could happen to anybody. Leaks can happen. So anyone from Cora, Harper to Jack? Yeah, I think head-to-head, yeah, they could handle Wesker. I mean, what's he going to do against Biotic? Hey, what's up, Sheen? How you doing? You loved Uncharted The Lost Legacy? It wasn't a bad game. It just wasn't great. I mean, it's my least favorite Uncharted game, but it wasn't like, it was just an Uncharted game. It just wasn't very memorable. I don't really remember. It was just okay. And it was like the only like major game outside of Persona 4 that I thought was worth playing on the PS Vita. You finished Grand Theft Auto 5 and you give it a 10 out of 10? Okay, that's fine. I it was fine for me. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. What I mean is the example after turning a light off running upstairs. Wait, what? After I turn a light off, I run upstairs. You mean going upstairs in the dark? No, I can't recall ever doing that. That sounds like something a child would do. You're finally done with college. Congratulations, Black Wolf. What degree did you get? What degree did you get? Harold Washington College, to be exact. Oh, okay. Yeah. What kind of degree did you get? I'm curious. You have a video idea for you. Top 5 movies that made you cry and get emotional. There's only 2. That would be Terminator 2 and Toy Story 3. That's about it. There's not been enough. A few movies close, but only those 2 actually managed to pull that off. You think Aquaman actor from Aquaman movies could be a good grunt in Jason Momoa? I don't think he fits grunt, to be fair. I don't think he would do a role like that, personally. Again, you're talking, like, I don't think we will ever get a Mass Effect movie, so I don't even know why we're talking about that, to be fair. You're planning on getting Super Mario Party? Okay, that's awesome. I used to play Mario Party when I was a little bit younger, but I kind of moved away from those type of games. Which movie do I think deserves a game, either copying the movie or doing a spin-off? None. I'm not a fan, like, I'm not the people who thinks like, oh, this movie is so great, it should get a game. I don't believe that. I don't think it's the other way around. I don't think games should be turned into movies, and I don't think movies should be turned into games. Just keep them separate. It just happens to happen. But I can't think of anything as much as I love GoldenEye the game and GoldenEye the movie, if you got rid of one of those, I wouldn't complain. I mean, there are some James Bond games that don't have movies, and there are some movies that don't have games. That doesn't mean they need to coexist. I mean, if they do, that's great, and they're both great. But I don't think we should be making them just because of that. It's Sean. Okay, I apologize. You think that there's what? You think that will ever be a Resident Evil Devil May Cry crossover? No. They're too different. We don't need like unless you're talking about Capcom versus Marvel or something like that. I mean, you want to do that. So you would say biotics have more firepower than Force users? No, I think Force users are more powerful because you can do a lot more with the Force than biotics. Biotics are quite limiting. I mean, there's only so much you can do with biotics. The Force is, you can do a lot more with the Force. Light and dark side. There's no such thing as like light biotics and dark biotics, or chaotic or combative biotics and defensive biotics. It's all kind of in the same department. The Force is so much more vast. You can do a lot more with that. I mean, you can't mind control with someone with biotics. You can't do that. It's more to do with kind of the physical dimension. You can't give Arkham Knight a 10 out of 10. No. Arkham Knight's not that good. I think it's a 9. But again, I like Arkham Knight. I just don't like it as much as Arkham City or Arkham Asylum. It's a good game. My biggest fear, probably bugs. I think bugs. It's the kind of fear where if I don't see it coming, it'll freak me out. But like if I see it at a distance, then I can kind of calm myself. But yeah, bugs are definitely a big one. Which is why that scene in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom freaks me out. Which is why I have a hard time watching that scene, even as a 33-year-old man. That scene freaks me out because I don't know how Lily was able to get through that. But Indy in short, I would have died. I was like, this is not gonna work for me. Am I looking forward to Christmas? Not really, because I don't think I'm gonna get anything. So it's kind of one of those. It's kind of one of those. I just get gifts for the few individuals that I know, and that's about it. But I don't really expect anything in return. Did I have any childhood nicknames? No, I didn't have any childhood nicknames, but I did have a racist high school nickname. But childhood nicknames, no, I did not. What is my least favorite subject in school? Ugh, definitely math. Ooh, dear God, that was not fun. I mean, you had Algebra 1, Algebra 2, trigonometry, and calculus. Yeah, definitely math. That was definitely my least favorite class subject when I was in high school, and that was definitely my least favorite. Dang. Can you name 3 movies that left me on the edge of my seat? Yeah, Dark Knight, Terminator 2, and I don't know. Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1, I guess. Would you like to see God of War animated series in the style of Invincible? No, I do not. God of War is just fine the way it is. I don't need to see it being turned into other medias, even though I've heard they want to turn it into some like Amazon show or something. Favorite British actor in horror movie? Horror movie is Event Horizon. British actor, I don't know. There's too many of them. There's so many great ones. It's hard to pick one. No, he's not British. I think he's American. Sorry. What video game do I think would make for a great movie? None. I don't want games being turned into movies. I know that seems like a cool idea, but the problem is that they wouldn't be financially very good. I mean, do you know how long it took for a Mario movie to actually be good? I mean, I have fond memories of the old school Mario movie. I have fond memories of that, but it wasn't a good movie. But heck, I don't think that. I mean, that's very, very hard. Unless it's like a really, really popular franchise, you shouldn't do it anymore. Which is why, why would you want to make a Mass Effect movie? If you're not a gamer, you don't know what the hell Mass Effect is. What about, Metal Gear? If you're not a fan of Metal Gear, you're not going to know what the hell that is. I mean, video games aren't very popular to the general public. They don't know. I mean, if you made, a Call of Duty movie, I mean, maybe that might work. I don't know. But heck, I don't want games being turned into movies. Why would you do that? You think Flashburn is an underrated force ability? No. Just not many people use it. But I wouldn't say it's underrated. Mass Effect of Final Fantasy. What do I think? Which would I prefer? Wait, what? Mass Effect of FF. Which do I prefer? I'm not Sean. I don't know. I don't quite understand that question. Aside from JRPGs, what's my favorite genre of games? Action adventure. Easy. Were I straight A student in every year I was in school? No, I wasn't. I was more of an AB student, to be fair. Do I think Kratos would decimate? Black Wolf, I have no idea who the hell that is. I'm seeing Die Hard on Friday as being re-released at my local cinema as I choose to go see it over for Aquaman 2 and Wonka. Alright, you go have fun. I'm not planning on seeing either of those two films anyway. I was maybe a little curious in Wonka, but once I heard it was a musical, then I was out. I don't do musicals unless it's an older film that I grew up watching as a musical. But yeah, next to romantic comedies or romance films, I don't watch musicals at all. Not even Disney ones, because they're all crap. Old school anime Disney songs, that's worked for me, but not modern day. The thoughts on Alan Wake. Also, you really want Alan Wake 2 for Xmas. I played the first one and I liked it. I am going to wait a long time before I get Alan Wake 2. I'm not going to pay full price for a game I can't own. I'm not a fan of pure digital games. Not a fan of it. I know that might be the direction that we're going, but if we go down that, if we eventually find ourselves in that position where that's all that is, that might be the day I stop being a gamer. Or at least keep going with the progression of gamers. I might just turn to a vintage gamer because I don't believe in that, personally. I like holding physical copies. And if they eventually do release a physical copy of Alan Wake 2, then I'll get it, but not until then. Damn, you guys are really throwing them out. Did you have a chance to play Valhalla DLC? Yes, I am playing it right now. I'm having a fun time with it. Is the 2016 Ghostbusters movie a top 5 first movie that you've ever seen? I didn't go see that. So it can't be on that list because I didn't see it. I had no interest in that film, so why would I watch it? Have you ever heard of the game called Biomutant? No, Sean, I have never heard of that game. Would you watch a documentary that explains the consequences of oversaturation of the market? Probably not. There are a lot of documentaries I'd watch, but that doesn't really pique my interest. Did you see the 2006 Doom movie? If so, did you feel about The Rock being in it? It was kind of okay. Believe it or not, that was actually one of the few films I saw with my dad where it was just me and him. It was okay. I was a little bit surprised he ended up being the bad guy at the end. It all led to that kind of first-person shooter scene. It was cool. The problem is that they didn't throw enough enemies at you. I mean, it was kind of slow. I mean, when you're playing Doom, it's kind of fast-paced. This wasn't fast-paced. It was like one enemy here, one enemy here, one enemy here. It's just like, there should have been like 4 or 5 enemies. It should have been pretty chaotic. However, I will admit, when Pinky came on screen, that was a pretty cool scene when Carl Urban's character grabbed the chainsaw. I think his name is Reaper. I cannot believe I still remember that. That whole sequence was pretty cool. And they were talking about like the 23rd chromosome or something like that. And I was just like, why are we doing this? Why can't it just be a portal to hell? What is this 24th or 23rd chromosome crap thing? Like, it's just, you're just a soldier, a portal to hell opens up, and some demons come through, and you kill them. None of this, like, mutation crap. It was just silly. Sorry, it was like, you just got done Stone Cold take on Triple H at Backlash to make it awesome return by destroying DX Express. Yeah, that was a pretty cool moment in the Attitude Era. Mass Effect or Mass Effect or Final Fantasy. What do I prefer? Oh, Final Fantasy, hands down. Sorry, Mass Effect's good, but you're not even several levels below Final Fantasy for me to enjoy it that much. Thoughts on it happened to me a lot when I was still in school. Sorry to hear that happened, man. That kind of sucks. Sean, you had a teacher who was so bad it was like F Damnation 13. Damn, man, I feel bad that he had to go through something like that. Kal is the Hindu goddess of destruction, same goddess Mola Ram worshipped in Indiana Jones. Oh, I just didn't quite understand Kali. Oh, Kali. Oh, okay. I think I just totally, your question just totally just went through my head. So I don't know. I'm kind of blank right now. What is my favorite Disney villain song? Hellfire from Hunchback of Notre Dame by Frono. I mean, I was to think. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. That movie came out when I was 7 years old, and I saw that in theaters, like on a field trip. And I saw my dad at work. That was a funny moment. That was the first time and that was before school. Yes. No, wait. Yes. No, I did see that. Wait a second. I have fond memories of seeing that when we saw that. I think that came out in 96. Hunchback of Notre Dame release date.
In the United States of America.
Oh my god, I was even younger. Okay, so my memories they're a little fuzzy, but okay. Yeah, I was 5 years old, so I am right. Okay, yes. I saw that when I was in daycare on the base. And I was 5 years old when that came out, because that came out in June of 96. And I didn't go to school till the next year when I was 6. So, because I skipped kindergarten. Okay, yes. So, yeah. Yeah, definitely Hellfire. And I was 5 years old, and the Hellfire song was kind of a dark song. So, yes. You think back in Mass Effect, did you play through romantic Ashley or Miranda or something else like Liara? Wait, what? You think back? I swear, you guys have the weirdest way of making your sentences. I'm very concerned. You think back in Mass Effect, did you do a playthrough romancing Ashley or Miranda or someone else? I think I romanced Miranda the first time I played Mass Effect 2 on my first playthrough, but then when I went back and I played Mass Effect 1 after playing Mass Effect 3, then the second time I romanced Liara. So I would say my first experience with Mass Effect was Mass Effect 2. But again, I didn't know about Liara much. So, I think that was just me. Did I eventually give up on TV shows, for example, too much time? Not really. It's just there's nothing. They don't really show anything on TV worth watching nowadays. Oh shit! Damn, I broke my cap. I don't know. It's very rare that they have something on TV worth watching. That's good. Can I do a top 5 Nintendo franchises list? Probably not, but I will say this. I have done a top 10 of Super Nintendo games that I'm planning to do later when I'm done with the PlayStation games. I've already got the list already set down, so that's probably next. I've already done N64, and I can't do Wii, I can't do Cube, I don't think I can do Switch, so I think the only system I can do outside of Nintendo 64 is Super Nintendo, so that is a top 10 that is coming out after I'm done with the PlayStations. You wouldn't mind seeing a documentary on Pierce Brosnan's era of Bond movies? I don't really think you can do a documentary about that, because it wasn't really that long of a period. It was only 4 films. So I just don't think that would be very interesting personally, even though that's, my era. Oh, my question didn't go through. Okay, I'm sorry, Vincent. Other than wrestling themselves, what other things about WWE would I change? I wouldn't change anything. The product is what it is. There's nothing I could do to change it, so there's no point in complaining about it. I would put out this like this. If we're not gonna have anyone beat Roman Reigns, just take the damn belt off him and give it to someone else who actually shows up and works. I don't like they have completely lost all credibility of having. This is what's so stupid. It's like, let me get this straight. So you have all your belts outside of Seth Rollins are held by heels, and now you have a period where like all these champions are going away for long periods of time. So Roman Reigns is not going to be showing up. Gunther is going away for a few weeks till Royal Rumble, and Miz should have won last Monday. Logan Paul, or whatever his name is, he's the United States Championship, and he's not showing up. You have the like the tag team titles are held by the Judgment Day, and they're heels. I think the women's tag team titles just switched hands. What else is left? It's like outside of Seth Rollins, all these championships are held by heels, and that's just annoying. And we're in this period where they're giving these championships like long reigns, which is like kind of weird for me now. Because I don't mind long reigns, but like when everyone has a long reign, it's kind of annoying. Like I actually kind of like when they switch it up a little bit. It's a little more interesting. What are my thoughts on the Blade reboot? I have no plans on seeing it because it's from Disney, so it's not going to be anywhere near as good. How would I describe Metal Gear Solid 5 in 2 words? Wrong story. That's how I would describe it. What would I change about Transformers 2? I wouldn't make it. What would I change about Metal Gear Solid 5? I wouldn't make it. That's what I would do. I wouldn't do it. How would I describe Devil May Cry 5 in 5 words? Best Devil May Cry ever. If I were tasked with writing a plot of Mega... Okay, yeah, Blade Wolf, I'm not a fan of Mega Man, so I'm not the person to go to write anything about Mega Man. I know very little about Mega Man. I don't know enough to make a plot about him. I'm not a fan of Mega Man, so I can't really do that. What is my favorite weapon in Mass Effect? The Omi Blade. Easy. I wonder if you'll do a worst to best Led Zeppelin. No. Yeah, it's Jimmy Page. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not that into rock. Yeah, I don't listen to those artists. I'm sorry. That I don't go down that path. Devil May Cry 5. What was my favorite weapon to use whenever you were playing as Virgil? Obviously the Yamato. I mean, that's his key weapon, so of course I would use that the most. Be Prepared is your favorite, but Hellfire was a close second. Yeah, I think Be Prepared with Lion King, pretty good. It's got some Hitler references. It's a little bit creepy, but heck, I think it's still pretty cool. What is my problem with MGS? What? 4? From... What? What is my... I think you may have typed that wrong. I don't have a problem with Metal Gear Solid 4. What are you talking about? That's my favorite PlayStation 3 game of all time. And it's my 3rd favorite video game of all time. I don't have any problems with Metal Gear Solid 4. What are you talking about? Hey, what's up, Winter Ghost? Welcome to the chat. Have I seen 2005's The Island? Yes. Isn't it that movie with Hugh McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, and they play genetic clones that get out and they meet their counterparts and I think Sean Bean is like the main villain. Yeah, I've seen that. Kind of forgettable, to be fair. On a scale of 1 to 10, how passionate am I about gaming? I'm about a 9 right now. It was a 10 several years ago, but as I'm getting older and it's kind of getting harder to focus on gaming, it might decline over the years because it's just going in certain directions I don't agree with. Can you do a video talking about Star Wars, saying which things keep it in... Wait, what? I swear to God, you guys type your sentences in the strangest ways. Calm down when you're typing, because I sometimes do that. Sometimes I'll type something, like I'm a fast typer, and so how I'm typing it is not how I would normally say it, and so it's kind of you guys are throwing me off. Can I do a video about Star Wars, saying which things to keep in the story? Movies, TV stuff, that's too long. Star Wars is dead at this point. It's not coming back. I'm telling you, they're going to announce I'm telling you this right now. They're going to announce them remaking the original Star Wars in the next 5 years. I promise you, it's coming. Because as they make these stories, it's messing up the original continuity. So they're going to have to change the original continuity to fit the story they're trying to tell. I'm telling you, it's coming. Thanks, Jimmy. Agree with you. Devil May Cry 5 is the best Devil May Cry game of all time. Absolutely. And the Special Edition is the only PlayStation 5 top 10 entry on my all-time greatest list. That was an incredible game. Oversaturation of the video game market is why Nintendo became such a giant in the 1980s. Yes, I know about the crash that happened in the 80s. But, you know, there was so many things going on. I don't think something like that would ever happen again nowadays. I think we're in a much better place than what happened in the 80s. You have to remember, gaming was still kind of growing at that point. So, yeah, I think we're past that. What's my favorite weapon in all of gaming? Mine is the Yamato. Probably the Blade of Chaos, which I already have a replica of it, like an official Sony replica of it. So, yeah, probably the Blade of Chaos, I'd say. What are my thoughts on developers of God of War saying Kratos has gotten too soft? Not soft. He's wiser and more mature. He doesn't have to be angry all the time. He's kind of past that. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of Ragnarok and this newer era of God of War. I don't think he's soft. I mean, trust me, when he gets mad, he can get that mad. He just tries not to. You meant being number one. Oh, it stops it? Well, because I think Metal Gear Solid 3 has a better story, and on top of that, Final Fantasy X is my favorite JRPG game of all time. That's why. That's why it's not number one, but heck, it's number 3, and 3 is a great spot. Would you prefer flying a TIE fighter or something like that, or using a ship in Mass Effect? I would definitely prefer a ship. I would prefer to get a ship from Mass Effect. Personally, I would want the Tempest. Personally, as much as I like the Normandy, I think the Tempest is a much better looking ship. That's a ship I would want. Best Devil May Cry ever is how I would describe Devil May Cry 3. That's perfectly understandable. That's also a 10 out of 10 game for me. Perfectly understandable. Which Resident Evil live action movie was your guilty pleasure? Mine are the first two, especially the first one. Yeah, I'm the same way, but I don't think the first one's a bad movie. I think it's a good movie. As long as they did I think my problem with the Resident Evil movies is when they start taking elements of the games and just inserting it into their movies and then making Alice kind of better than everything. And that didn't start happening until Resident Evil 2. But I think the first one on its own, if they had done a whole lineup of Resident Evil movies that were trying to tell its own story in the same universe, but didn't add any of the characters, I think it would have been a much better series. It's when you started adding game characters and you started kind of degrading them. That was my issue with the films. Like, as Resident Evil has a lot of stupidity in it and a lot of crazy things that don't make sense. But, like, to downgrade these iconic characters just to prop up Alice, that was my issue with it. But they didn't do that in the first one. Alice was a pretty solid, well-rounded character, and her development was pretty well earned. I don't have a problem with her in that movie. Let's see. Is there any game where you have died so many times you regret playing it? That I've died so many times? Yeah, probably a Souls game. Something like that. I died like multiple times in the first hour. Like if I died like 20-something times in the first hour of a game, then I move on to something else. How would I describe the sequel trilogy in 2 words? Shouldn't exist. Well, Bad Batch and Mandalorian are good. Yeah, I'd say like the first two seasons of Mandalorian are good. The third one was just kind of trash. Hey, can I talk to you, please? Sure, King Kid. Just ask your question, and heck, I don't mind answering your question. That's why we're here. What is the best lightsaber duel in the original Star Wars EU? I think the one that I can describe myself is the one between Darth Kaitis and Jada Solo, or Mara Jade to be precise, or Mara Skywalker. That was a pretty intense fight. Unfortunately, Mara did not survive. Although, to be fair, Kaitis did cheat a bit, using a force illusion to make a projection of her son, so that she hesitated. Like, Mara Jade was about to take Darth Kaitis out, but... And just so you know, Darth Kaitis' hand Solo is Ben Solo, so he effectively killed his aunt. That was unfortunate. Do I have a girlfriend? No. No, King Kid, but I have been trying for a long time. Last time I had a girlfriend, I was 21, and we only dated for... I tried dating this girl for like 5 years. I think we went out for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden she disappeared. And I thought for the longest time she had died. And then maybe 2 years ago she reappeared, and I was just like, what the hell? I went through like months of depression because I thought you were dead, because it was a whole situation. But I won't talk about it here. But yeah, long story short, no, I do not. But tech, I wouldn't mind getting one nowadays. What if NetherRealms made a Devil May Cry versus MK game? That would never happen. Capcom is not going to allow NetherRealm Studios or Warner Brothers access to any of their franchises, so that's not going to ever happen. My favorite video game weapon of all time is the Master Sword. Zelda fan. That's pretty cool. Hello, Anthony. How are you doing? Welcome. What subject in school do I wish you were better at? I think I wish I was better at languages. For some reason, Spanish was not working for me. It always went in one ear and out the other. I think had I taken French, that would have stuck with me a little bit more, because France is actually a place I would like to visit. But like Spanish, I'll be honest. Like my high school was, I would say, primarily Hispanic. There was like 80%. So pretty much what I would do, the only reason I passed Spanish is I just had my Hispanic friends do all my Spanish homework. It's just like, oh, look, you help me with Spanish, I'll help you with any classes you're having problems with. And that's pretty much how I got past that in my freshman year. It's just like, just handle all my Spanish stuff, because it's just going in one ear and out the other, and I'll help you with history or math or biology. I'll help you with that. And that's the arrangement we had, and heck, by the end of the year, I got a B minus, even though I know very little Spanish, so I kind of cheated in that sense. Yeah. Do I think, Black Wolf, I have no idea who that character is. What is my problem with Bumblebee? I don't have, with the movie or the character, I don't have a problem with Bumblebee. Sean, where'd you get this impression that I have a problem with Bumblebee? I don't have a problem with Bumblebee. He's just not my favorite Autobot. Like he's just not one of my favorites. He's a fine character. I have a problem with Bumblebee as a character. Or with the film. I thought the film itself is actually one of the better Transformers films. At what point do I think Disney is going to start going downhill? It's already starting to go downhill. What are you talking about? Where have you been the past year or two? It's already been going downhill. Do I think that Samurai Warrior style Mega Man 10 game would be interesting? Probably not, because I don't know anything about Mega Man. So it's hard to say. What is my family heritage? I do not know at this moment in time. Maybe one day, if I ever have time, maybe I'll study it, but I really don't know. What would I change about Jedi Survivor? I think I would add a few more planets. I would add like maybe 2 or 3 more planets. I think the limited areas we went through, we were jumping to them way too often. Like it got kind of frustrating. I would have added like 2 or 3 more planets. If they had done that, I think I would have enjoyed it a little bit more. Because Batman Hush is a really awesome movie that shocked me. If you're talking about the animated film, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I would describe the sequel trilogy in 2 words. Bad idea. It had a lot of bad ideas. God of War, Devil May Cry. Oh, God of War. No question. Sorry, Dante, but you're not on Kratos' level. Sorry. Brian, share some of my Pringles with us. I mean, I would, but we haven't invented a device that allows you to, transport food. Little computer monitors. You want some? There you go. There you go. You guys are great. Here's 2 words I can describe the worst teacher I've ever had. Personal insulting. Sorry to hear that, man. I had very few teachers I absolutely did not like, but there was one teacher, Mr. Gordon, and I believe my freshman year, digital media, he kind of started my love for kind of media. So I can thank him for kind of inspiring me to kind of have the skills that I have that I'm using on YouTube now. So yeah, I don't even know if he's still alive, but if he is, I'd like to thank him. Harrison Ford believed Han Solo needed to die in Episode 6 because he already lived up to his full potential. Do you agree with that? I don't think he needed to die. If he did die, I'd be fine with that, but I don't think he needed to die. Have I seen Ice Age? Yes, Sean, I have. I've seen only the first one. Have I heard or played Dead Rising? Yes, I've heard of Dead Rising, but I've never played it. Have I played Fable? No. Have I played Singularity? Yes, I have a copy of Singularity. That is a very underrated time travel game. Have I played True Crime? Yes, I have played True Crime New York City with Marcus Reed. I think that's his name. Pretty sure. Marcus. If you could pick 2 franchises from each, both Marvel and Capcom, to cross over, I wouldn't. I think crossovers are a very, very bad idea. Bumblebee the character. Sean, where did you get this feeling that I have a problem with Bumblebee as a character? I don't have a problem with Bumblebee as a character. He's just another Autobot. He's just not as interesting as, say, someone like Optimus. I mean, he's fine. He's a fine character. I got no problem with Bumblebee. No, I have to ask you, when do you think it started going downhill? I think it started going downhill maybe about 5 months. When they started being kind of progressive. Or they started pushing some kind of agenda. And they tried to be more woke. That's when it really started to go downhill. I think the first moment I realized it was really, really going downhill was when they started doing these live action versions of these Disney films that they didn't need to do. But I think the first real instant that I knew something was bad was when I saw Maleficent. I was living in Dublin, California at the time, and I saw Maleficent. And it turned into one big, giant, man-hating film. I was absolutely shocked. In fact, I even did my review of it. I said, listen, if I was a parent or if I was a father and I had a daughter and I took her to go see this film, I would be absolutely furious with Disney. I do not need Disney putting negative thoughts in my child's head to turn my child against me in 10 years. That is the last thing I need. And that's pretty much all Disney has been doing. They've been trying to indoctrinate children into these crazy ideas that go against everything that is family orientated. For the last 5-6 years, I've noticed it. And now, I think it's only now parents are starting to see this. This whole trend is not working. Didn't they just do something in, I haven't watched Doctor Who in so long, but didn't they do something in Doctor Who where Doctor Who split into 2 people and now he's bi-species or something like that? And they add all this transgender bullshit. I'm like, why do we need this? How does this help? The general public is very, very, very allergic to this kind of thinking. And I don't want anything to do with it. That's when I think it really started going downhill. She's the second daughter of Ra. I gotta admit, Black Wolf, I'm not too knowledgeable about that, so I can't really say. I know you've covered this before, but what are your thoughts again on the 2008 Mortal Kombat DC universe? It was just kind of dumb. Odd idea mixing DC with Mortal Kombat, but you could never go all the way with DC characters. That was the problem. You were never going to go all the way with them, so you kind of I think they were setting themselves up to fail. It was just a simple matter of Warner Brothers had these 2 franchises, and they wanted to try to do a Marvel vs. Capcom thing, and it just didn't work. You can't go hard with DC characters. You never could. Have I ever been bullied? Yes, I did have a bully in my freshman year of high school, and there was an incident in the locker room after a day of PE. This was maybe 2 years before I started doing weight training. and just something happened, and I did something to the guy, and I never saw him again after that. He just kind of disappeared. It was weird. I didn't complain. Maybe he just transferred to another class or something. I don't know. Aside from who is my favorite Uncharted villain? Lazarevich. I guess Eddie. I guess does he count as a villain? I guess I don't know. You remind me of Lord. How would you describe Toy Story 4 in 2 words? Doesn't exist. I like crossovers only if both franchises are similar to an extent. That's understandable. Have you seen The Walking Dead? Yes and no. Like, I've seen clips of The Walking Dead, but I've never actually sat down and watched an episode of it. It's just not really for me. You watched a Q&A video I did with your brother many years ago and thought it was pretty funny. Oh, yeah. I wish we could have done that earlier this year, but he was busy at work. We had very little time to hang out, so I spent just a lot of time at his house. I was just kind of there by myself. Have you checked out YuYu Hakusho live action? Yes, I have. Unfortunately, I have mixed thoughts about it because there are parts of it that look good, but I just didn't like how they took the whole first like 60 episodes and crammed them into 5 episodes. I think it could have worked out a little bit more if they made it 10 episodes. I mean, the Dark Tournament was like poorly handled. There was very little time for character development. They shot through so much stuff that is huge. It's just like, yeah, visually it looks cool, so you're good there, but like character and story wise, you're rushing over a lot of things. Like, I understand you can't add everything, but like if they'd added more episodes, so that's why it's kind of in the middle. It's like visually it was cool, story wise it was kind of a big fail, unfortunately. Like that final battle with Tagoru, I think it was interesting that they threw in Hiei and Kurama and Kuwabara to kind of help, but it kind of took away from Yusuke. It just kind of felt like it was kind of mixed. That's how I feel about it. It wasn't, I don't think it was good, but I didn't think it was bad. It was kind of in the mix. If they go for a second season, maybe they'll have some proper improvements. Maybe they'll condense the type of story they want to focus on a little bit more, and then maybe it'll be a little bit better. Would you want to change about Amazing Spider-Man 2? Just better story, I guess. Alongside Bury the Light, what is my other favorite Devil May Cry game? Is absolute my favorite is Devil Trigger. Yeah, I feel the same way. That was a good one. I'm all for SJW, including animal rights. It just feels weird having any SJ stuff in Star Wars, for example. Not meaning I delight seeing people animals suffer. I guess there's some points there. Good story. If Mortal Kombat should cross over with another franchise, it should be Killer Instinct. No, not even that. No, don't even do that. Don't mix. I mean, if you want to see a crossover, do a proper crossover. Like, the only crossover I would support is doing a Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter crossover, and make 2 different versions of it. Make a T version for teen that looks more like Street Fighter, and do an M-rated version that looks that feels more like Mortal Kombat with Street Fighter characters. Make 2 different versions. That'd be a little hard to do, but like that's the only thing I would ever want to see between crossing 2 fighting franchises, personally. Doesn't exist. How would you describe Kung Fu Panda 4? I don't know anything about Kung Fu Panda 4, so I can't really say. So long, amigo. Alright, thanks for stopping by, Sean. See you next time. Am I vegan? No, I am not, but I am currently on a protein diet right now. You like the one scene in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Works? I don't know anything about Marvel vs. Capcom, except maybe the second one. So if you're describing an event or something that happened in it, I know nothing about that. What is my favorite movie of yours did I have on VHS? VHS, probably Phantom Menace. I remember I think that's like one of the last VHS tapes I remember watching. But you watched my Toy Story 4 review, and from what you saw, it sounded like I was trying not to sound too harsh on the phone. I was trying not to. It's very rare I do pure rants. I did a review for Spider-Man: Homecoming, and that is the only review that I'm really disgusted with how I acted in that, because I lied the entire video. I was acting like I liked it and I thought it was good, and I hated that film. But I felt like if I ranted on it, I would get like a lot of backlash. So that's like one of the few videos that I unlisted. I think it's still on there, but like if anyone ever saw that, I'm lying. Everything I'm saying about is lying. I go against the one principal rule about being a YouTuber, and that is never upload something that you wouldn't watch yourself. That's the cardinal rule. And that was like the one time I broke that rule. It's like I recorded it, lying throughout the whole damn thing, and I uploaded it, and I think people saw it, and they got a complete wrong opinion how I felt about that film, because I'm not a fan of Spider-Boy at all. Do you think they will introduce Senzu in YuYu and live action? Maybe they will. Winter Ghost. Have I played The Darkness? I've not played the first one. I have played the second one. How often do you get to see your brother? Once a year if I can. Nephew's gonna be born in February, so I'm gonna see if I can make it for his birth. But if I can't, then I try to see him at least once a year. I saw him 2 times a year this year, because I went to go see him. I spent like a week with him in Texas, and then he and his wife Angie came here because they were going to a concert, and they were here for like a few days. So this was like the first time Angie got to come and to see Vegas. So this was the first time she actually came where I lived. So that was a fun moment. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. Hang on. And believe it or not, they actually visit me while I was at work too. So that was a major plus. So they actually got to see at one of the jobs I work at. That was fun. Hello, Jackie boy. I'm doing all right. How's your day going? Have I ever considered working in the culinary industry? Absolutely not, man. Not interested. How would I describe Attack of the Clones in 3 words? Had its moments. That's how I would describe it. Final Damnation 13 rant win. I think I've beaten that horse over enough. Believe it or not, I think I have a copy of my rant that I left on one of my PlayStation 3s. If I ever get it working, it might still be on there. You're joking. What is my favorite Final Fantasy mascot? Moogles, Chocobos, or Cactus? Definitely Chocobos. Which one pro wrestling feud from WCW, ECW, WWF, Attitude Era, Ruthless Era, Aggression, or this was my favorite? Oh, definitely the Cena and Edge. That was a good one. However, I will say I think the best Survivor Series time was probably 2005 at the build-up between Raw and SmackDown, in which you had Shawn Michaels, Big Show, Kane, Chris Masters, and Carlito going up against JBL, Rey Mysterio, Batista, Bobby Lashley, and Randy Orton. I think that's the greatest Survivor Series match I've ever seen. Like, the build-up for that was genuine. Like, that was a great period. But yeah, I think my favorite rival was probably Cena and Edge. They had some really great matches. It's a shame they never had another match when Edge came back. I would have loved to see that, because a lot of people don't remember this. There was actually a moment where they did a Survivor Series. They had Kurt Angle involved as the team captain, and he got to wrestle Cena. So like this was like, but it wasn't made like a big deal. Like I was like, oh my god, we're seeing Kurt Angle and Cena wrestle again for like the first time in like 10 years, it felt like. But like they didn't really build it up. That would have been cool. And it's unfortunate that they didn't have Cena as Kurt Angle's last match. I would have loved just them to do that. I didn't think much for Baron Corbin being Kurt Angle's last match at WWE. It should have been Cena, personally. My only issue with Tom Holland's portrayal of Spider-Man is he's less like Spider-Man and more like Tony Stark. I've been saying that for years. I am glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. I've been saying that for years. That was like my biggest problem. I once played I Needed a Hero from Shrek 2 during War Section in Resident Evil 4. That song actually would work in that part pretty well. I gotta agree. Do I think that Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince movie is underrated or forgettable? Really? How? Really? You think that movie is forgettable? Dude, Dumbledore's death? That's kind of a big moment. That's not forgettable at all. Seeing Harry be kind of drunkish, to which apparently Daniel Radcliffe was actually drinking during that period, which is unfortunate. But like, no, I don't think Half-Blood Prince was. I don't think that was forgettable or underappreciated. I think it's a pretty great film. Personally, it's not my favorite. Mine is no Order of the Phoenix. That's my favorite film of the Harry Potter films. But really, I haven't heard that one. I didn't think people would thought that way. Do you think your hatred for Final Damnation 13 was so deep that one of your videos you said that you would put it in a state of depression? Oh, almost killed your passion for gaming? Oh, it did. I'm not lying. It put me in a 6-month depression. I didn't play a single video game for 6 months. Not even lying. Like if you ever guys want me to show you, like I'll show you. Like the last trophy I got was the day that incident on Final Damnation happened, and then like the next trophy was Hannah Montana. That's 6 months. Like that's how I know it was 6 months, because the last trophy I got in Final Damnation 13 and Hannah Montana the game, that's 6 months. I didn't play a single video game. Not a computer game, not a portable game. I stayed away for 6 months. I did not play a single video game. That's the longest period of time I've ever been away from playing a video game in my entire life before I start really getting into gaming. I was depressed. Like, if they could fuck up Final Fantasy that bad, no franchise was safe. And I've never played a game, like, I just immediately said, I need to play something that's worse than this. And the only thing I could think about that was worse than Final Damnation 13 had to be Hannah Montana, the game, and that was a better game. It was generally a better game than Final Damnation 13. I had actually some fun playing Hannah Montana, and I know nothing about that. Oh, sorry about that. How's my day going? I had a little bit of a rage moment just now, but I'm okay. What is my favorite boss in Resident Evil 4? It. Wait. Yes. It. It is my favorite boss fight in Resident Evil 4. Which individual superstar from WC is my favorite? Randy Orton. Easy. I can't imagine how a game can make you give up on gaming. It can, because I was so passionate. Because, dude, Final Fantasy was like the deepest franchise to my heart. Like, that's my favorite video game. Like, up until Metal Gear, that was my favorite franchise of all time. And like, to hit me in the heart like that bad, like, bothered me. It cost me a friendship. Like, I knew something was. I had a bad feeling. It was personal for me. I took the game very personal. It cost me a friendship, a long friendship. Like, I literally walked into my friend's house and I punched him. I was that angry. And I said, dude, how the fuck you talk me? Like, how dare you convince me to play this thing? I told you I didn't want to play it. Like, maybe I was wrong in some sense, but like, dude, he totally tried to convince me. And then he would say some bullshit saying like it was as good as 7. And I was like, that's just insulting. And I never spoke to him again after that. Like, that's how bad it was. It not only affected me personally, it ended like a long-term friendship that I wish I had back. That if I never played that game, we would probably still be friends now. Like, I was really upset about that. That bothered me for a while. Really pissed me off. I mean, when a game affects starts affecting your personal life, you know there's something wrong with it. Top 3 Final Fantasy characters. I don't know. Orange, Squall, and Yuna, I guess. I don't know. Okay, we're getting way too many. Okay, we're getting so many questions, and we got like 6 minutes left. So I'm gonna ask everyone time out. Let me get your hands off your keyboards. I'm gonna answer these last number of questions. So time out with the questions. Get your hands off the keyboard. And if I haven't, I want to answer these last number of questions. And if we have time, then I'll ask for more. But like, we have like a lot, and I'm really far back. So yeah. What is the best life decision I ever made? Mine was getting spiral fusion surgery on my... Okay, best life decision? I don't know. I don't think I can come up with a... Yeah, timeout, yeah. I don't think I could come up with any one particular moment, but what I can say is that recently I had a chance to hang out with someone who I admired. I had a chance to hang out with them earlier this year, and I had a life-changing experience that really changed my perspective on life and how I should live it. So that would probably be the most recent life-changing event. But I can't think of any one particular event that, like, over everything. But, like, that's the one that stands out to me. It happened earlier this year, and I'm very grateful. It is such an underrated boss. Salazar is my favorite. That's a good one. Final Fantasy... Ugh. Man, Jackie, boy, I feel bad for you. Chief Brian Irons from Resident Evil 2 was destructive his whole life, from hunting little animals, raping 2 female students in university. Jesus Christ, I didn't know all that about him. Damn, dude, it almost sounded like the game ruined my life. It almost did. It almost did ruin my life. I probably wouldn't even be here on YouTube if it had been worse. Like it genuinely put me in a depression. Like, my bosses at work were concerned, and they sent me to a psychiatrist. Now, I didn't tell them about the game, but I was telling them I was just going through a lot of things. Like there was a lot of things going on in my life at that point, so having that happen there, it was just a bad idea. Alright, see you later, Jackie Boy. Thanks for stopping by. And we got like 4 minutes left. You thought Krauser was your favorite boss because it was in your top 5 favorite boss fights list. No. Krauser was unique because it was like the only boss fight where the knife was the best weapon in the game, which is ironic because that's like supposed to be like a last resort type of weapon. You know, I wonder. I'm sure someone has anyone actually. You know, I'm curious. Has anyone beaten Resident Evil using just the knife? I'm sure they have. I just don't know how you would pull that off. Knife only. Can you do it? I mean, maybe you can. I'm sure. I'll look it up later. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we got 3 more minutes. So if you guys have like at least like one more question, just go ahead and send it in. I'm all caught up. So, yeah, go ahead. We got like 3 more minutes. The fact that the knife breaks in Resident Evil 4 really pisses me off. Yeah, I heard about that. That's stupid. They added so many stupid things about the remake. And like, that's why I didn't want to play it. Like, I played the demo. Like, it's funny. I played the demo of the remake, and I didn't really like it. And then I immediately played the original game, and I was like, yeah, I'm sticking with the original game. I don't need to play the remake. And then I saw what they did to the story, and I was like, what the hell is this? Just call it another Resident Evil game. Don't call it 4. Do you have any idea of when you'll go back to your first one job schedule? Probably sometime in May. I believe it. I'll have to drop one job, probably in May, around the time I move to my next location, because the lease here ends in May. So probably right before the kids get out of school, I'll probably go back to a one job schedule. I think that's probably the best time it'll happen. Would you take Tara Bradford on a date? Tara? Yeah. Yeah, I could take her out on a date. After she loses her powers. Sure. Then she's harmless. Which Devil May Cry main? Oh no. Hello?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay, how you doing?
I have a question.
Sure.
We have a guest in the arcade that has 3,000 points or tickets or whatever,
Okay.
and there's nothing in that slot. What's usually in that slot?
Okay. Okay, so are they okay, well, the upper one is broken until we get it fixed. If there's no prize in there, are you in the back room?
That's in the back.
Okay. There's 2. If is Seth there?
Yeah, you want to call him?
Yeah, I'll call.
Call you?
Yeah, have him call me. Okay, I'll let him know. All right, bye. Sorry, arcade job calling. Just need my help since they don't have anyone covering the days that I'm not there. So I'm about to get another call in a little bit. But yeah, favorite car. Yeah. Which Devil May Cry mains? All right, time out with the questions. I think we're done. Let me just get through these and then I'll do the closing because I think I'm about to get another phone call, so you guys can get a little bit of insight on my personal life. Which Devil May Cry main setting do I prefer? Timmy McGrew in Devil May Cry 3 or Awakening? Definitely Devil May Cry. I think Devil May Cry 5 was a little bit better. Original over remake? Yeah, absolutely agree. Do I like the Resident Evil Final Fantasy 7 remake? No. No, that is the worst game I'll never play. I'm not even going to give that a chance. Favorite car would be a BMW 3TR. Or, no, it's an, no, no. BMW M3 GTR 2006 or 2005, one of those. You saw Resident Evil Remake on clearance, but instead you got Control for a friend. Then you made a great choice because Control is a fantastic game. Got any favorite cartoons from when I was a kid? Yeah, Rocko's Modern Life. And nice ringtone. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to cut it there. Thanks, you guys, for another great episode of People's Questions. We will continue this next week, same time, around the same time. If I have time, I'll upload one of the 2 top list videos that I recorded today, and then I will be sure to do the collector's edition video next week. So, again, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you guys next week. Would Jack Krauser make a good Punisher villain? No, I don't think so.